you grew up in some environment that taught you how to work, right? So I know my wife and I come from very blue-collar backgrounds. Most of my wife's family works in the mill in Longview, okay? And those are get a good job, work as few hours as you have to get your paycheck, how much time off do you get, how much benefits do you get, blah, 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 blah. And that's just a job, right? And you go drink your Bud Light, if you're still drinking Bud Light, and you live for the weekend, right?
Right.
What are you drinking now?
We're not drinking Bud Light.
Not drinking fucking Bud Light no more. Okay? So, you can be programmed to go get a good job, right? We get a lot of candidates come in here, we give them a great offer, and they go, well, my mom says you don't offer enough benefits. So you're telling me that I'm offering you 20 grand more than the company down the street. Yeah, but they have benefits. Well, what are the fucking benefits? Oh, full medical, fucking 17 days paid off. Okay. Okay, what is that worth? That's worth about 6 grand. So I'm offering you 20 grand more without benefits, but you want the job with benefits. Yeah, my mom said I should take the job with benefits. Right? That's programming from parents. That's fine. Maybe you grew up with programming from parents that were not young professionals, but professionals. Doctors, attorneys. Your father's an attorney, right? Okay? Attorneys. You will get into, I tried to get my son into a world that wasn't blue collar, which means go to the right schools, get around the right people, network with the right people, work your way up to essentially a salary or career position, which generally involves what? For the most part, going to college, getting a degree, going through the degree mill, okay? And eventually you hope to leave, and as all the kids walk in here today, they think they graduated from North Dakota State Online University and would like a $100,000 a year job, right? Have you met those kids? Yeah, okay. You met those kids, Jordan? Are you one of them? I'm sorry, you're South Dakota, not North Dakota. Okay. Trying to get people into a salary job, blue-collar job, everything's tech now. All these tech guys don't have to go to work. They just sit in their bedroom, make $300,000 a year, right? So you have career opportunities in salaried positions, okay? Expectations different for a salaried position than a JOBer, Hunter? No? No expectations are different.
Salary versus...
If you're a JOB person versus a salary person, are your expectations different?
Yes.
Are the employer or the partner's expectations different? Yes. Okay. So we go up the ladder. Each person walks in and says, I want 20 bucks an hour, 25 bucks an hour. They're watching the clock. They got 4 minutes left, and at 8:01 hours here, they walk out, whether the job's done or not, right? And they don't respond to emails or texts or phone calls from people here still working, asking, where's this, where that? And then you can always tell, because you can bombard them with emails all weekend. And then Monday at 9:01, they start responding to all the emails. Now, all the career people and all the salary people have been all responding all weekend, and they've already covered it. But they unfortunately go and start at the rear of the train and start answering shit that's already been answered. Right? Got it? Okay. So if you want to be successful in here, you got to move from an hourly, which we have very few hourly people. Most of you, we've started you in some salary concept, which is you're at the level already of one level up. Which is, there should be no expectation of time. It is whatever it takes you to do the job. If you were starting out and you're new in a position, it's going to take you 2 to 3 times longer to get it down. You may have to do it twice as hard. You may have to work twice as long. You might have to redo it, right? To get it going, okay? So we have expectations at a salary level that you will do whatever it takes to succeed, okay? And if you want to get really good and you really like it, whatever you're doing, you probably start thinking, I'd like to do this for a career, okay? Some of you guys are getting a little older, past 30. At some point you got to figure out what you're going to do in fucking life, right? 30's the cutoff. You can't be on Obamacare anymore at 30, I don't think, right? And you got to move out of your parents' basement, Hunter. Okay? I don't know. Maybe Obama came back and raised it to 35, something like that. I don't know. What is it now? Forever? Okay. So at some point, we hope you get into a career. We hope you like it. We hope you want to lead a division. You're starting to do that. Okay? At that point, we have people that try and keep up with Chris and I. Chris tries to keep up with me. He's the only one that's tried. And he fell down and went to the hospital because he tried. But generally, huh?
I love the way you said that.
What?
Only once every 36 months.
He used to just go disappear for 3 days, but now we know where he is. He's hiding at the hospital. So, even Musk said it. If you're going to work 100 hours a week, you're going to do as much in 4 months as most people do in a year. If you truly want to fucking succeed, and Hunter's like, why are you here on Sunday? I still work somewhere between 80 and 90 hours a week. I used to work over 100. 100's a little hard for me because I am 58. I could still do it if I had to. But to consistently deliver 100 hours a week, it's pretty much your full-time commitment, and I still have a wife and a son to work with. So you got to allow a little family time, but I usually average about 85 hours a week. Okay? If you were successful and you were being good in your division and you were properly trained and you've been here a year or two, I could probably work less. But right now, I got to help you, 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 okay? So as people take on more responsibility in their career, their salary goes up because they're able to do more work. They're adding more value to the company and to what we're trying to do. It's directly correlated, okay? We would love everybody here to make $1 million a year, like a tech company, right? Stock options, killing it, equity. We'd love everybody to make $1 million, okay? At some point, hopefully you run into leadership. We've had people in their 20s turn into division leaders, leaders of a whole group. They run it, they get shit done. But what we really want is you to partner with us to be successful. And I'm saying that from a mentality of there's a difference between being a partner and being an employee. Right? Partners are supposed to deliver some amount of value that appears equal. They may be different sides of the work equation, but they're partnering because they either achieve more together than they do individually. Okay? So that means, Will, wow me in the videos. Will, wow me on this. Go figure out how this happens. Okay? Jorgen, we have problems right now that need solving. Okay? Will and Robert have been trying to fine-tune it. We've been putting it through multiple systems trying to solve the problem with roadblocks, with technology issues in the platforms. Is that what it's called? Platforms?
Yes, sir.
Platforms. I don't know. Every other day they come back, I'm like, we're trying something else. That ain't fucking working. This ain't working. So you got to go solve the problem. If you're not going to solve the problem, then you're not adding value. Okay? And you're dropping back down to JOB mentality. Okay? So is that starting to make sense, Hunter? Okay. So do you want a job? Do you want a salary? You want a career?
I want to solve problems.
You want to solve problems. Good answer. Okay. So you said you had some questions. Remember when I was over there? You said, yeah, I got lots of questions.
Let's see, in regards to the job ladder or?
Anything. We're kind of covering expectations when you come in here. And so part of it is, breaking the mentality of the programming you've been brought up with your 23 or your liberal arts degree in underwater basket weaving of wanting 100 grand just because you have a degree, is the real world doesn't fucking care. I don't care whether you're working here or somewhere else or working for yourself. The real world doesn't fucking care. You either solve problems and add value to somebody else or you don't succeed. You don't get paid. And you guys are all here like, well, I don't give a shit. He's the one that has to fucking pay me. Yes, to a point, but we have an incubator program here, 30, 60, 90 days. We expect you we give you a lot of, shall we say, latitude the first 30 days. Then we're like, okay, you need to be stepping up. You need to be delivering. Here's what you're doing well. Here's what you need to focus on. And most of it is just effort and energy in the first 30, 60, 90 days. Okay? People have been here a while. I've seen people come in, they get excited, they work hard for a little while, and then they realize it's a lot of work. Right? I just wanted a job. And so we are a very entrepreneurial room. If you just want a JOB and there's value there and we can silo you into just a JOB, we're perfectly fine with that. Please give us grade 8 hours, work hard. But you're not going to get the comps and the reward and the opportunity for people that are trying to solve problems and add value. Okay? We'd like to buy at least $100 million a year in value add property. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of properties. It's a lot of divisions. It's a lot of moving pieces. And so We're growing, we had to stumble through COVID, so we're regrowing our divisions, but we need leaders in basically 10 divisions. There's not even 10 of you here, so that'll give you a feeling of how much work we need. So we've typically been somewhere between 30 and 50 people on the teams at any given time, so we have room to grow. So that's kind of my life lesson, what separates JOBers from career and people wanting to partner. Okay? So we can move on to another topic if you have any questions.
Okay. Well, one thing that is really unique about this job that from my experience in the last week, is that this is completely.
You can just say it. You don't have to sugarcoat it.
I mean,
You can't offend me.
you guys are crazy.
We're crazy.
This is definitely a team environment.
Yes.
But that's what's cool about it though, is it doesn't feel like a JOB at all. It feels like everybody's working towards the same goal, even if you're doing something completely different.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing media and I'm trying to build a brand and everything, but when we're all sitting down in here trying to decide, like how are we going to get properties? How are we going to get more leads? Like everybody is sitting down and trying to figure out that problem.
Sure.
I really like that. I actually had like a random question about.
Well, hold on, just on that topic, and this is where you just made a good point. We do occasionally get misses in here of people that come in, and once they realize it is so kind of entrepreneurial and high energy, if they just want a JOB and they don't want to run hard, they tend to go into the corner and then they slowly walk out, right? Sometimes they hide and go out the back door so we don't see them leave, but because, it is a very different environment. Right?
Right.
Well,
Yeah, for me it was the opposite. Like I've had so many ridiculous jobs. I did concrete foundation work, and then I worked at Starbucks.
Did you have your pronouns on your shirt?
My coworkers did.
Yes, they did. You had to be very careful because you weren't quite sure which each person was, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was easier just not to talk to anybody.
Grease the boys.
I got totally fucking freaked out the other morning because this person had a full beard. And it was clearly, not a man, but it was a man. I didn't even know what to say. I just said, thank you. No, it was right here at U Village.
Like walking through a field full of landmines. Is what it is.
Yep.
But, working in all those jobs, I check out after 6 months because it's the same routine. It's just like you said, like you're just watching the clock.
Right.
And,
You don't enjoy what you do.
right.
Yeah, we want everybody to enjoy what they do here.
Yeah.
So you had another question, sorry.
Oh, yeah, it was actually just kind of about real estate type
Sure,
stuff.
what do you got?
Well, like on Saturday, I was bored, so I just started driving around because I always see these like properties that are distressed, stuff like that. And I saw this one. It was boarded up all around, and on the door it said it had a City of Tacoma notice: "Do not occupy."
Yeah.
So I looked it up and looked up the property and was trying to find where in like Pierce County. Like, did they list those? Is that what is a do not occupy? Like, what is that?
Well, it's either something that's going to be torn down, so the homeless, the transients keep breaking in and are squatting, or it was condemned. So typically you will vacate a property prior to you tearing it down, which we've had multitude of those in Seattle, and then the zombies come out. And the zombies take off the plywood and they go in and they get into them. And at that point, you can't get them out, and the city fines you for having them there. So you keep boarding it up and they keep getting it in. So that could be a property that's going to be torn down, or it was condemned in some manner because it didn't meet housing code, and so they shut it down. So yes, you guys could go find a list of all the properties that are condemned in any county. That would be a target list.
So when I looked it up though, and I was on like the tax assessor and you know, just looking through like all the parcel information, there was nothing about it being condemned or having any sort of violation.
Sure. So almost every county has a property research, code violation, there's a multitude of layers of information. You can get permit status, you can get, have there been any zoning violations? So usually it's on a county website. So you have to go type in the parcel number, the address, and at that point, okay? But you're on the right track, because a lot of things we talk about, and Jorge could go do this, we could ask him, go pull everything in King County that has, you could go delinquent property taxes, you could use utility shutoffs, you could go to notices of eviction, you could go to condemned properties, you could go to zoning code violations, then you can go into the more kind of predatory stuff, which is the pre-foreclosures, the foreclosures, the estate sales, the tax sales, the sheriff sales. This is what most people in the distressed industry of sourcing property try and go find something with severe problems, either financial or property problems, and at that moment, they approach the owner to see if they can solve the problem. So you're on the right track.
Right.
Yeah, so you're listening. Okay, good. Any other questions? You know exactly what you're doing. You got them all leased up this weekend, they're all done.
Step with that folio.
Okay. What's that?
I'm figuring it out step by step with that folio.
Right, so, this is probably, because you're coming into roles that there isn't somebody currently here, it is harder, okay? So we are sympathetic to the fact that, whether you all come in, yours is a brand new role. No one's ever done that before. What Will's trying to do is a brand new role. And us taking this all to video education, in-house platforms, in-house training is something new. Property management leasing, we've had somebody for 20 years, but there's nobody here right now. We've been doing it by committee. So that's going to take you more time. It's going to be questions, it's going to be trial and error. And if you don't know the platform, AppFolio, you're going to have to go learn it, take a tutorial on it, see what it can do. Same with Zoho. I've never been into Zoho. You're going to learn Zoho in just a minute. I don't know if you've ever used Zoho, but they're all very similar. So at some point you got to go take the time to learn it. We don't have manuals we can just slide across the table. So that's where I'm back to, if you want just a JLB, you're going to be frustrated because there's not a manual and there's not the guy above you who can go answer all your questions. You've got to ask a question, see if you can solve the problem. See if it's right, ask if it's right, get direction, and there will be some frustration. Okay? Part of two, when we bring in people, we're not ready for everybody perfectly. There's turbulence, shit isn't set up, we're still setting up your computer, we'll probably take half the day to get your email address. So it's just a little bit of patience the first couple of weeks, right? Getting set up, okay? Any questions? You're like, dude, just let me go to work. Let me help, right? So we're excited you're here. We're excited you guys are here. We got a lot to do. So that's it for this session. So we'll pick it up again later.